that might be helpful is if you go in the top right of your screen and hit view and you hit speaker view, that might be a little bit easier to see the individual that's speaking at the time or presenting, or if you'd like to keep it on gallery view where you can see everyone, that's totally fine as well. So my name is Rachel Kessel and I will be the host for the evening. I did want to note that we have a volunteer panelist and as well as a Church World Service panelist that will be joining us tonight, along with some Church World Service staff that will be helping to present at various points. We have Heather, who's helping run the background. Andrew will be helping us out, Kevin, Matt, and myself. So I will go ahead and pass it off to Matt Stevens, and he is going to talk about just what is our blankets program. So just give us some background on that.
Yes, sure. Thanks, Rachel. Really glad to have everyone on the call tonight. Actually, a couple weeks ago for another project I was working on, we did some history of our blanket program, and we're looking through some of our historical books that we have, some of our archives we actually have been able to trace our blanket program back to the aftermath of World War II. So 1946 is the first time we have mentioned in our history books that we actually provided blankets and quilts at the time to help serve our neighbors. But in this case, our neighbors were overseas in the aftermath of World War II. And it was actually founded by a group of women in the Midwest area, because that's where a lot of the movement was happening at the time, to think of ways that they could help keep people warm. And it's really great. And I remember specifically, my grandmother was Church of the Brethren, and they loved the blanket program with Church World Service, right? Mm-hmm. And I remember specifically that she would have her little blanket offering every year where she would donate her $5, right? Back in the days, it was $5. And I'm sure before $5, it was probably maybe even $1.50. I don't know. I've not seen any records of what the original cost of a blanket was. And she also loved to quilt. And as you know, we had a long time history of a quilting program. And we actually kind of continued that this year a little bit with some of our response to the Ukrainian resettles. I'm sorry, let me say that again. The Ukrainians that were resettled here in the US and some of our other new neighbors that came here. So that was really cool. But our blanket program, we are able to use in many different ways. Jenny Campbell will be talking more about this soon, but we can use it to respond after a disaster, and we can use it to respond at the local homeless shelter, or when there's a other type of emergency and there might need to have a need for a temporary shelter. But we're really glad you're here. You're going to learn a lot from many people who are sharing today. And I think that's kind of the end of my little presentation.
Thank you, Matt. That was wonderful. Throughout the evening, we're going to have a few different quizzes to kind of test your knowledge on the Church World Service Blankets program. So first, we'll have 2 questions at a time. So we'll pop those up now and go ahead and answer which one you think is correct and hit submit at the end. All right, and the poll results are in. So yes, the correct answer for the number 1 was answered in the majority. How much does a single blanket cost? It is $10. And how many blankets did we ship in the calendar year 2020, including to Ukrainian refugees? That was just under 60,000. So very, very close on that answer as well. Next up, I'm not seeing her here, so her name might be Andrew Gifford. But Sandy Dean, are you with us tonight? Okay. In the meantime, we will go ahead and ask Jenny Campbell to share with what she has going on with us tonight. So it'll be more of like an interview type setup. So she and I will go back and forth, and she's going to answer some wonderful questions for you. Jenny is our interim director of our domestic disaster program. So if you want to go ahead and just kind of introduce yourself, your position, and your program and department.
Well, hello, everybody. Just make sure you can hear me. Yes. Hello. So super passionate about this program. It's amazing. I'm Jenny Campbell. I have been with Church World Service officially as an employee since April. And so I'm still incredibly passionate. That said, I have also been with Church World Service 3 years prior. And a testament to my passion is that I was determined to come on board because I had Church World Service as a fiscal agent for the disaster recovery in California. And so we saw a lot of support from Church World Service in a very different way than the way I'm seeing it now. I am the director for the domestic disaster program. And was there anything else, Rachel, that you wanted me to speak to? Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's okay. If you want to just elaborate a little bit on what the domestic disaster program is, that would be great.
Absolutely. So, well, the domestic disaster program is renamed. Unofficially, we are actually going to be called the Emergency Preparedness Response and Recovery Program. And so that tells you a little bit more, doesn't it? We are looking at the nationwide approach to disaster in the United States. We do focus on the target group for the Church World Service audience, and that is immigrants, refugees, newcomers to the country, and we do help those most vulnerable. So our disaster response is always going to be focused on how can we interact with all of our partners in the best way possible, who are helpers also and who are affiliated with the voluntary organizations active in disaster. So we are a national member of the National VOAD, and we participate actively in as many calls as possible when a disaster strikes. We assess the needs, we work with our partners. In fact, I'm rolling out of 3 calls back to back. Right now, I had to leave one for the earthquake that happened up in Northern California. We listen, we're patient, we let the locals tell us what they need and when they need it, and we're all standing on the wayside to determine what's needed, both from a response perspective and then for that recovery and very long-term recovery perspective. So I'm receiving calls still from Hurricane Ian to help figure out how maybe they will be able to recover. We just offered some cleanup bucket kits today to them, and you might think that was a long time ago. They're just now determining what they need and how they can clean up.
Wow, thank you. That's quite a cumbersome challenge, and one that I'm sure that you are doing well and helping to provide. Like you said, I love that you work with the local communities and working to help provide what they are needing and assessing their needs. I think that's wonderful.
And Rachel, I do
Yeah.
have something that Jenny didn't share with everyone. And I think we should, but because of our faithful volunteers like you, Church World Service was actually, I think we won an award last year with the National VOAD Award as one of their champion partners. And that was so exciting. And we were only able to win that award because of our dedicated volunteers who make all this work possible. So thank you so much for being
awesome.
a part of that award and really highlighting the good work that our volunteers and our donors make happen every single year. So thank you.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that, Matt. That is amazing news. And like you said, it really just speaks to what our volunteers help equip us to do. Jenny, I'd love to know if there are any good recent examples of where the blankets have gone and the use of those blankets.
Absolutely. I think the examples are just so there. I saw that this was going to be a question, and I thought, where do I start? I think I can summarize by saying that, I probably am going to answer a couple of questions in one, but I'll say that, we look at non-disasters, non-emergencies, and emergencies, right? And throughout the year, we are helping churches, homeless shelters, food banks, local church events, And so we're working and we work a lot with the border shelters. We work a lot with our affiliates. One that sticks out in my head that's non-emergency, because I could talk emergency all day long, but one that I loved was that some of our affiliates in New Jersey were reaching out for assistance with blankets and with cleanup bucket kits. And you think, what is that for? Well, we're in a massive resettlement push right now to help as many people as we can find homes. And a lot of those homes really need to be cleaned before they come. They don't have a lot of storage space. So we're working out how to keep those cleanup buckets and the blankets coming in a steady fashion so they can keep that consistent support with those affiliates that are reaching out within those local communities again to have interface. And then guess what that does? That just brings our voice forward, and we are having that conversation. The other one that's emergency, that is disaster related, is Hurricane Ian, of course. There were so many people that needed. We immediately partnered with UMCOR and sent 1,000 buckets, kits, and blankets over to a church there, because you would think, wait, UMCOR has buckets. We were able to mobilize quickly, and UMCOR then brought in a lot more supply. So they were able to balance that, but we had a warehouse that was right there and got them in. Another one is a group called Project Hope, and they are in, I can't remember the state, it's an East Coast state, but he was
New York. They're in New York. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep,
Thank you. I can rely on Matthew.
Jamaica, New York. Yes.
And oh my gosh, the story, the work they're doing with the community there. The cleanup bucket kits are critical along with the blankets, because these are the most expensive items that are in the kits. And if they can offset their budgets so they can afford food, because we help them with the cleaning supplies, that's a huge, huge opportunity for our community outreach groups. And it's the same with those blankets. I will say that the blankets, just one more little example. I know Rachel cut me off. Okay.
No, you're good. This is great.
Okay.
Great information.
The blankets, the wool blankets are so critical in a flood situation, because what does wool do? It can get wet and it insulates. The fleece blankets are great for the border shelters and for shelters because they reuse them. And this is something that actually Matthew shared with me, because I just wasn't thinking about it. And I talked with the border shelters the other day and our new associate director, and she was explaining to me how proud they are that they wash these and reuse them. And so those blankets are used on those beds over and over and over again.
That's fantastic. I know some of us in our department visited the border a few years back, and several of us saw those Church World Service blankets being used right in the shelters and in the airports on our way home. So I know that those are well used and really go to make a difference when it's really critical.
Hey, Rachel, can I add one more thing to that as well? So if you haven't had a chance yet to look at the new bulletin insert, which I'm sure you will when you get your materials for this year, but there's a link to this year's video, which is called Blanket. It's You're a Part of the Miracle, Blanket the World with Love. And that's also available on our website, which is super easy. It's CWSblankets.org. So if you go there following the website, you'll see our promotional video for 2023. And there's a really wonderful example of a local church that distributes a meal every Wednesday to anyone who wants to come to the meal. And at that meal, what they do is they also distribute a blanket to someone who might need a blanket. They might be living outside or maybe sleeping in a car or just recently moved to a different apartment and they might not have what they need, and they pass out hygiene kits as well. And that's all funded because of the generosity of our Church World Service donors. It's a great video. It talks about how you're a part of that miracle. And I'd really suggest that you check that out and maybe even show it to your congregation.
Yeah, wonderful. And we will actually get to watch that video later tonight. We have that
good
on our agenda. So everyone will get a chance to see how great that is. Thanks, Matt. I'd love to maybe more specifically talk about how the disaster, I didn't remember the new name for it, so I'll just continue to call it the domestic disaster program. But how have we responded to Russia's war on the Ukraine in that program?
My understanding, again, keep in mind that I'm here since April. My understanding is that we did partner to ship a container of blankets and supplies over to Ukraine. I don't have the exact details, but I will tell you that it initiated before I came on board. So it initiated at the beginning of last year. And then we finalized and confirmed and worked with a partner in that, one of our partnering churches, to ensure that that container was shipped over and then received and distributed the best way possible.
Right, and you are correct. It was fleece blankets, which is our yellow lightweight blankets. It was school kits, hygiene kits, and I believe that, and I said school kits as well. So, but the blankets were a primary part of that response as well. Yes,
that's fantastic. You talked a little bit about distribution, and something that we'd love to know more about and to share is, in addition to the cost of the blanket, which we learned is $10 through that quiz, what do distribution costs look like for the program?
And this is one where you're going to catch me from those meetings. I am unprepared with that answer, but I bet Matthew is going to chime in. I don't remember. Matthew?
I can find out the answer on a general. What we do is just to let people know how we do how we do send the blankets out to other folks is we use third-party vendors that we coordinate with our warehouses. So we have three major warehouses, one in Elkhart, Indiana, which is our warehouse, one in New Windsor, Maryland, and one in Ferncliff, Arkansas. And then Ferncliff, Arkansas actually has a deal with FedEx that they can ship all of our supplies for 75% off. And so that's great. That's something that they've been able to establish. And so we like to send supplies from Ferncliff because they go out a lot cheaper. For Elkhart and New Windsor, how they manage that is we work with what's something called a third-party vendor shipping. And so what that means is the staff in the warehouses, they identify a truck that's just doing regular business in the community that needs the blankets and kits. And then what we do is we kind of piggyback on that. Of course, there's a fee to that, right? But we kind of piggyback on that to get those supplies there on a truck that's already going to that location. And so the warehouse staffs are amazing at that job. Of course, it doesn't sometimes get there as fast as we'd want it to get there, right? Sometimes it takes a day or two for it to arrive, but it does help in terms of the expenses of that cost.
Yeah, it sounds like that's a very efficient and effective way of partnering with communities and making the most of it.
Absolutely.
Right.
You know, Rachel, I would love to augment what Matthew said, and something that we just talked about last week with respect to the shipping is that we truly could not be doing the good that we're doing without the help, without the benefit of all of the donations that come in to support and augment that shipping. This literally couldn't be done, and it's just massive. So thank you.
Thank you. That's great to know. You talked a little bit about this already, but we have some non-disaster requests as well as disaster response requests. How do those kind of compare? Is it mostly, are most of the blankets sent kind of towards the disaster response, or is it pretty equal? How does that line up?
Great question. I asked a lot of these questions when I came on board, which is why I have some of these answers. And, right now, without weighting that scale at all, in other words, with promotion, it's probably about half. When I say that that's for blankets, okay, because there is a very large need at certain times of the year, especially seasonally, right, for the blankets. And then when we get into hurricane season, disaster season, wildfire season, when people have lost everything, a blanket is very, very important. I think that one thing I'm seeing is that if we really press it and I push the blankets for certain things, that request goes up, you know, just like anything. So the need is there. The awareness may not be, but many of our homeless shelters do reach out on a regular basis. And we have this conversation all the time when they reach out, just how grateful they are for the support, and that there is no way, you know, they could be doing what they're doing without our partnership.
Thank you. And
I would like to add, sorry, Rachel, I didn't mean to
No,
cut you
that's
off.
okay.
No, I'd like to add, this is a good reminder too, that CWS loves to partner with our donors, and we love to partner with our supportive congregations and the agencies they support. So if you know of an agency, if you know of a shelter, if you know of a after-school drop-in center that needs these supplies, you need to come to us, right? We want to make sure that we can support the folks who support us. We do grant material goods, I think usually once a year, unless there's a big emergency. And you can do that again on the website, which I think Kevin will be showing you that later. But please, if you need the supplies in your own community or you see that need, make sure you reach out to us so we can get you what you need.
yeah, absolutely. And my last question for you, Jenny, what can blanket leaders do to best support the work that you're doing?
My first response is, I'm only hesitating because I'm just picturing all of the good that you do, and spread the word, share that the need is out here and that we are making a difference together, and bring your partners on board with us. I know Matthew's going to jump in here, and I'm learning a lot from Matthew. That said, I truly feel that just please maintain that consistent support. Encourage, you know, your communities, you know, and all of those in attendance at your events. Please encourage them to participate and share this message, share our messages, share the video. This is why we make the videos, right? Really spread that word and hold community events, you know, like get people aware. I mean, those community events are one of my favorite things to do. I'm behind the scenes right now, you know, at that kind of more higher level organization, you know, perspective, and I'm not boots on the ground like I have been for so long, and I'm missing it. And I just think that the amount of good that we can do by sharing the message is really important. Matthew?
No, I would agree. I think the rest of my team is going to be talking about that stuff. So I'm going to let them talk. I'm going to let them address that. But no, I totally agree that the more we, you know, someone told me once that Church World Service blankets is like this little secret club and only a few people know about it, right? And so we don't want to be a secret club anymore. We want to really share that word out with our communities. I know you folks are all doing it anyways. I think my mom kind of gets tired of me talking about CWS blankets sometimes. She's like, is there anything else you can talk about right now? So
It's great to see that you're passionate about what you do. That's for sure. We'd love to open it up at this time for any questions for Jenny that you might have. And feel free to just unmute yourself and pop in.
Don't be shy. I'm ready. You'll help me learn.
We do have a time for a question Q&A at the end as well. So I think we'll kind of maybe hold off until then. And Jenny, thank you so much for being with us tonight and for answering all the questions that I had for you, and for the incredible work that you do, and sharing that, you know, it's possible because of the work of these blanket leaders that are here on this call tonight.
Thank you. And, you know, I would really like to thank all of you genuinely for all you do. It's an honor to be part of this team. So thank you. And I'm going to hang out here with you.
Awesome. Thanks, Jenny. Next, we have another quiz. So 2 more questions for you. And these are things that you'll kind of notice are talked about throughout the night. So Matt's touched on it a little bit. Jenny's kind of touched on a little bit. Some of these aren't touched on, and it's just purely something new that you'll get to learn. So we'll have that next quiz pop up here.
Rachel, in the future, I think we need to add that Jeopardy tune.
Oh yeah, you're right,
Just see
Kevin. You care to take to be our Jeopardy tune in the meantime?
it would be out of tune. Sorry.
Awesome. Yes, everyone answered that correctly. The different places that receive these CWS blankets, homeless shelters, women that have been trafficked, places that help welcome newcomers, like Jenny had mentioned on the those at the border, and as well as disaster response like flooding, hurricanes, tornadoes, and fires. This one was answered correctly as well. How many kits and blankets we have shipped over the past 10 years? 1.6 million, which is just incredible, an incredible statistic. So thank you for all the work that you do that allows us to share that great number with you tonight. Next, I'm going to invite my colleague Andrew to do a tour of the website and just kind of highlight some things online for you all.
I think Kevin's going first, actually.
Okay,
Right?
wonderful. Yeah, we'll have Kevin go ahead and highlight
right,
some
Kevin?
resources in the website.
Kevin, you're muted. Sorry, buddy.
I knew that. Okay, so Heather is bringing up the website for us. And I've been having a little bit of trouble with my internet tonight. So if I freeze in mid-sentence, Andrew's going to jump in and take over for me. So I think we got it covered. Okay, so Matt had already mentioned the website a few times, and CWSblankets.org is the address. Go there and find tons of material that you can use for your blanket program. First thing I want to point out, that takes you to this website right here. There are tabs at the top to order promotional materials, resources and downloads, stories and reports, videos, go virtual, and request blankets. So just starting with ordering your promotional materials, all the veteran folks that are with us tonight, you'll recognize this. Heather, if you want to scroll down just real quickly, you'll see all the types of materials you're used to seeing there. Blanket inserts, a leader's guide, a blankets gift card, poster, offering envelopes. Just order as much as you need. There's put in your shipping information. The only tip I have here is try to give the warehouse enough time. I'm not sure what's recommended, but 4 to 6 weeks would be lovely. But having said that, don't be intimidated if you're running out of time, because I've seen the warehouse ship things out very quickly and within 2 weeks easily. So go for whatever you're able to do. On that,
Kevin, can I say something real quick?
Sure.
On this particular form, every once in a while, it will not take your email address. We don't know why. We can't fix it. If that happens in your situation, forget the form, pick up the phone, give us a call. We'll get you your stuff right now. It's just every once in a while, there's just this little glitch that it won't take your email address, so we can't figure it out. Most of the time it works.
That's a really good point. Okay, good. Just give us a call. We will get that order out to you right away. One of the key things on this form too is the need date. So make sure that's plugged in there, so you know that you get the materials you're going to need before your event happens. So it's right on there, and you'll be good to go. There is also the option of purchasing blankets if you need some sample blankets. I would almost bet that everybody on this call tonight has 2 or 3 blankets already ready to go, and maybe more than that. I have gone to churches to do a presentation on blankets, and I always bring my own blanket, and I see a stack of them when I get there. It's from the many years that you've done these. All right, so moving on to the next tab, we're just kind of going through the website real quickly to make sure you know where everything is. The resources and downloads. Okay, lots of things that you can just, if you need something right away, just download it and print it off. Of course, some things like the bulletin inserts, you probably want to order those, and posters, order those from us because they're in color and they're wonderfully made, and you can get 100 of them, and that would be a lot to print off on your personal printer if you needed to. So so take advantage of the fact that we've got a lot of these supplies here. But in the downloadable materials, everything from once again, bulletin inserts and posters. There's a blessing in there. There's helpful hints for your program. There's a children's minute for mission, a hymn that's been composed, Valentine's information program. Information is here. Well, Valentine blankets, coloring sheets for the kids, Valentine's Day card to give out as a gift when you're doing blanket donations as a gift. And there's two things on here I would like to highlight. And Heather, if we can do this, click on the bulletin insert. Matt had mentioned this, and then see if you can bring that up. Look at that. I love it when technology works. Okay, so the bulletin, new 2023 bulletin insert. It's wonderfully done. It's a 2-pager, and you almost can't tell from the mask, but in the background, you will see at least 2 of the people you recognize on this call, Matt on the left and Andrew on the right. I just had to point that out, guys. You are celebrities. So be a part of the miracle, blanket the world with love. Scroll down, Heather. There you go. This is what's inside when it's opened up. Mentions about the program, the blanket program, gives some price points on what a blanket would cost if you want to combine it with a hygiene kit or bundle some blankets. Mentions what's included with the hygiene kit, and also the 2 types of blankets that we have available. So the wool blanket and the fleece blanket, which we've already talked about. On the back page, go on down, Heather. One to point out, and this is always important to all of us, that to keep our program in prayerful concern, and we've added some prayers here that you can bring up during a service or add to your promotional material, just for the incredible impact that blankets make. And I think Matt pointed out the QR code there. When you scan that, you get the video, right, Matt?
You get the video, and you also get a link to the donation page. So anyone at your church who wants to donate from their mobile device can do that just right from the pew. It's super easy, it's safe and secure. So it takes you to the specific face that you see the video, and you have an option to make a donation right there as well. So it's a really nice feature.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, can we go back to the main screen? Yeah, downloadable, and scroll down just a little bit to see the leader's guide. Yeah, there it is. Now on the right hand side, there's you can click through this. This is a 5-page resource for you that offers all kinds of information. Once again, more price points on what blanket funds will provide. Next page, a variety of different ways of doing your program, how to involve the youth, setting a goal, doing it through the virtual offering page, as Matt was just talking about. And the next one. Once again, a variety of different ways to encourage people to donate, ideas that you might not have thought about, like doing a silent auction or having the youth involved with a car wash to go towards have donations go towards this program. Then there's more too. Next, yep. There is a responsive reading, a litany that you can use in services, a blessing during service. Heather? and then a skit that and to talk about the program that you might want to provide, maybe get the youth to provide. And I think there's one more page this time, children's craft, so ways of doing crafts that get the children involved and help with the donations. So anyway, the leader's guide, you may have gotten these. I think they're sent with the initial postcards when they go out, or the packets that go out to our groups that have been involved with blankets in the past. But if you don't, make sure you get a leader's guide. Could bring up some new ideas for you. Okay, going to the next tab, stories and reports. Yep.
Just a second, I gotta move the bar. Okay,
You have set the bar for us.
I have set the
there it
bar.
is. You set the bar. All right, scroll down just a little bit. Okay, stories and reports. Now, this right here, our reports are not dull and drab. Matt always makes sure we've got something colorful and fun to look at. These are great reports. The 2022 kits and blankets shipping report will look like this and show that 228,000 kits and blankets were sent in 2022, and it shows places that they were sent. You scroll down a little bit, Heather, you'll see some past reports that are also available if people want more detail, and then also some stories. Matt was mentioned earlier about one of the churches that does a meal and then offers kits and blankets to people as part of a community meal. And then a variety of other stories that you can share with your congregation. All right, zip on back. Okay, so videos. Now, the video here, and I didn't scroll far enough on the very first page, but this video is also there. This is the brand new 2023 video that we're going to show at the end of this session tonight. So it's only 1:38 minutes long. It's really great, but there are several other videos, and some of these you've seen in the past that may particularly touch you, that you want to re-show or show for the first time. All right, go back on up. Okay, let's skip the go virtual. That's what I'm going to turn it over to Andrew. Let's go, skip that for now and go to request blankets. And let me just finish up my part, Andrew, and then I'll turn it over to you. Matt had mentioned that we have these kits and blankets in our warehouse, and they're ready to go. They're one of the first things we send in terms of emergency response throughout the United States. You may be the person on the ground that identifies that your community needs some of these things, and of agencies, of local agencies or large congregations that have the capacity for distributing. I know this is true with Hurricane Ian in Florida. I work with a number of congregations down there, and got several requests that we were able to fill right away, sending emergency blankets, kits, backpacks, all kinds of things. So this is where you could go to start that process if you wanted to. I always suggest you talk with your church world service representative. Make sure that all the needed information is collected, you get in the right place. But the request actually goes to Digna Batista, and there's the email right there. But it's a resource and opportunity that sometimes gets overlooked. And even if you hear a lot of press about our response in a particular disaster, there may be communities that are being overlooked and could really use some supplies. And oftentimes it just takes someone contacting CWS to make that happen, someone like you. All right, Matt, you are the expert on requesting these. I just want to say, did I leave anything else?
No, that's great. No.
Okay.
And like we mentioned earlier, we tried to make it super easy to find on the website. And so that's all new. So we're excited to share that.
Okay. The one tab I did not check on was called Go Virtual, and Andrew has some information about going virtual. So Andrew?
Yes, I do. And I was just typing a message to Heather and seeing if she wanted to share, or if she wanted me to share, because I'm happy to share it. Heather, do you mind giving me access to share? Because I was going to kind of walk through it a little bit, just to show folks how they could set up a virtual page if they want to give people the option to to go ahead and make their donation. So I was trying to see if she was giving me access to share. Can I request access? Ah, yes, I have access. Great. Okay, so let me go ahead and share. First off, there is one thing that I want to say. Whether or not you do a virtual offering, and like I said, it's not that you're doing the whole thing virtually. It's just another option for folks to give. So those in your pew can give here, or those can give, people can give on the website, or people in the pew can choose to give on the website if that's how they want to give. Whether or not you set up your own individual page, if you click the donate button, mine kind of gets cut off, so I apologize for that. As you're filling that out, I know we talked about this before, as the form comes up for you to do that, folks who donate can indicate your congregation on that. So even if you don't have a specific donation page, which I'm going to walk you through how to set that up, we can still make sure that your congregation gets credit for that. So, you know, we had those QR codes and all that. I know sometimes that can get confusing for folks. I've talked to some people about that. So even if they donate just through the website, as long as they indicate your congregation, we can make sure that your congregation gets credit for that. And if you're not sure about the amount, like Kevin mentioned, you can always reach out to your CWS staff person, and we can help point you in the right direction if we ourselves can't find it. But yeah, so I'm going to be quick about this. I'm just going to click this, and we are going to set up a fake virtual fundraising page. So like I said, you don't have to do this, but we're kind of encouraging folks, if they want to try it, see if it goes well. If it doesn't go well, don't worry about it. But I just think it'd be kind of fun. So we're going to do our display name I chose was the Presbyterian Church of Mayberry. So I figured there's, there we go. Fundraiser photo. So what I have done is I'm going to choose a local file, and I chose, I had it saved. Where on earth did I put it? Here we go. Fourth Presbyterian Church of Mayberry. You can thank artificial intelligence for that photo. So, all right, submit that. And then our fundraising goal, we raised 500 last year. So we're going to go ahead and set a goal of 600 this year. And then you can edit this message, or we have this really nice pre-printed message for you. And we actually do our Sunday as a Valentine's Day church. I'm going to say we do us around Valentine's Day, because I know a number of congregations that do it that way, which is kind of a nice option. And so we collect all month. So I'm going to say February 27th is our goal date, because that's when we're going to kind of close the books on our Valentine's Sunday. I'll click continue. Okay, they want my email address, so I will give them my email address. And they sent me a verification code, so I'll have to check out what that is first. But apparently I need that first. Let me just check that real quick. Sorry about that. This is the first time I'm doing this too, so you all can see what how this works. So I've got my verification code. Let me copy that and pull this back up. Continue. And I think that's it. Yeah, this is it. Okay. Your name for our records. All right. Oh, wait. I have to do this one more time. So Fourth Presbyterian Church of Mayberry. My zip code is, I'm just going to put my personal zip code. Close enough. And there we go. So what happens is now there's a link. So I will just copy this link, and I can give that link to people, and they will be able to see my page for folks to donate. So then I'll bring them right here. They'll see my church's photo that I uploaded. It's Presbyterian Church of Mayberry. They see the goal. People can donate. And then you can just send that link to people as you need to. You can share it in your church's newsletter. I know a lot of churches do e-newsletters nowadays too, on the weekly. And so you could just share that link far and wide. So really encourage you to do that. If you need help with any of that, or you need assistance, please don't hesitate to reach out to whoever your CWS staff person is. We're here to help you. We can walk you through anything that you want to do. If you want to try it, like I said, you can try it. If you lose your link, even reach out to us. We'll help you find your link. So that's not an issue at all.
Yeah,
Matt,
Rach,
like you have something to say.
Andrew. Yeah. So last year we had a church do it for the first time. And what they did was they asked, they had their link set up. They put it on their church's Facebook page. And then they just asked the people in their church to share the link from the Facebook page on their Facebook page. They tripled the amount of money they had ever raised for blankets, just because what it did was it expanded the blanket offering outside of just their church. And the people in their church were able to ask other people to donate $10. And it was really easy. And the coordinator, she called me and she's like, I'm blown away with how well this works. She's like, and I don't know anything about technology. And our church secretary did this and put it on our Facebook page. And all I did was say, put it on your Facebook page, and it worked. So there are some success stories with this working well and really expanding.
Yeah.
When people share it.
Yeah. So I think that's basically it. Did anyone have any questions about anything that Kevin or I just shared regarding the materials on the website, the materials that you can order, the online page you can set up?
I have a question.
Yeah, Paula.
Is there a better time of year to do a drive, like a fundraising drive? I'm from a very small church, and we would do the blankets for Mother's Day. And then we would say, you can donate $10 in memory of a mother or in honor of a mother to pay for a blanket. But it was just one Sunday. It was just Mother's Day or the week before. So I don't know, is there a better time of year to do the blankets or the kits or the hygiene, or is it really whenever?
Mother's Day is our most popular day by far.
What is?
Mother's Day is.
Okay. For
Valentine's
just the blanket,
Day.
for the
Yep.
blankets? Or
For the
anything?
blankets, for the blankets.
Okay. Okay.
Valentine's Day is the second most popular day, but believe it or not, the third most popular day to do blankets and kits is the Sunday before Thanksgiving. I don't know if it's just everyone's in a mood to give something, but it's our third most popular Sunday we have with blankets, and it works well. From what I understand, people really like to give it because there's a sense of gratitude that kind of comes from that act of having a blanket Sunday. And kits can be done any time of the year. Depending on where you live, we would want you to check, and we can help you to check the Church World Service Kits website just to know where the drop-off places are around you when they're going to be open. But blanket Sundays, you can do it at any time of the year that you want.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions? All right, we're going to see lots of people doing the online fundraising. That's what we're hoping for, at least.
Thanks for that, Kevin and Andrew and Matt. And I think Matt's story is about the Facebook page and sharing it on the Facebook page. That's just incredible to hear how just that small act and quick thing that you can do makes such a large impact. So there's quite a bit on the website there. If you're curious about something, feel free to always reach out to your CWS staff member, as Andrew mentioned, or, just spend some time on the page and browsing the page. Sometimes it's fun to do if you have an evening or an afternoon to do that as well. So this time we have our final quiz of the evening, 2 more questions. And then after that, we are going to watch the new Church World Service video. Yeah, I'm really seeing where that Jeopardy sound would come in handy here. To give everybody a moment.
Yeah, next time we'll add that.
Next time.
Next time.
Awesome. So how many blankets and kits have we sent to Florida in response to Hurricane Ian? We have sent just under 200 or 20,000 blankets, which is just incredible. So you all got that correct. And yes, who makes the CWS blankets, kits, or blankets program possible? Although I personally love Frodo Baggins and the Avengers, and Mickey Mouse is pretty great too, we couldn't do it without you all. So thank you for the work that you put in and for the passion that you have for this program. That's really evident in the years and years that you do it. If you're a newer blanket offering leader, we're grateful to have you join in such a great cause. And we've heard so much this evening about the various ways that those are used, and the impact that you all have on your communities. So we will share the new video and have some closing remarks after that.
I think Church World Service is the answer to the question of how do we meet our sister and brother in their greatest moment of need.
We forget how hard it is for people who do not have funds to just have hygiene supplies. It can be as simple as a toenail clipper or hand sanitizer or soap or washcloth, but often those are the kind of items that people just can't afford.
It's tough to go into an interview without a clean shave or without feeling your best, and to be able to provide that to people directly, I think that's a beautiful thing.
We have the heavyweight wool blankets, which are really useful for especially those who call the outdoors home, who need it to really just stay warm.
The people who might be couch surfing or who are living in their car appreciate having the fleece blankets. They're a little more manageable and they're certainly softer.
These are the kind of blankets that people carry with them. They pack up in their roller suitcases or their backpacks. They take with them all day long and use it the next night and the next night because it becomes a permanent belonging.
We really appreciate the donations that support this program, that provide Church World Service with the funding to be able to provide blankets and provide hygiene kits.
Without your support, we would not be able to do this good work and be the boots on the ground to really help our neighbors in need.
It's a miracle what Church World Service does, and you're a part of that miracle. Thank you.
Thanks, Heather, for sharing that. That is just such a wonderful, I think Matt said, or Kevin said, it's just about a 1.5 minute, 2-minute video. And I think it's a really great resource to use to share with your congregation when you're, up there and you're telling them about what you're doing and what a blanket Sunday is and what a blanket offering is. If you have the capabilities to share that video, I think that's a really great resource to use. So this time we will open it up for any last questions, if we have any. If not, if you think of any questions that you have, feel free to reach out to your Church World Service staff member or any of us here on the call tonight. Our email is the first letter of our first name and full last name at CWSglobal.org. So thank you all for taking some time out of your evening. Know that anyone that registered for this will receive a recording after this. So if you are thinking, man, I would really love to watch this back again and take some more notes, or I'd love to share this with so-and-so, or maybe you're a co-leader and your other leader didn't get a chance to be here tonight, there's that opportunity for you to share that out. And just want to thank Jenny Campbell again for being here and for sharing all the wonderful information that you shared with us, and just a really tangible way to understand how much what you do makes a difference. So thank you all for being here, and we will talk soon.
Thank you all very much. Thank you. This is very informative from my perspective as being a co-leader, and it's been very helpful.
Awesome. We're so glad to hear that. That's, this is what it's for. So that's great to hear.
Thank you, everyone. It's great to see you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks,
Take
everyone.
Thank you, everybody.